Good morning, boys and girls. Well, let's take a look at some honors geometry section 1.3 lecture notes. And I'm going to work these examples before your very eyes. So we have used the number line to find the measure. Okay, so AB, that just means how far is it from A to B? You can see it's 2 spaces away. So that's the answer. It's 2 spaces away. From B to D, you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces. Okay. Let's use the same line to find the coordinates of the midpoint. So what number is halfway between A and C? So let's see, -3 and 2. A couple ways you can do this. You can just kind of start on either end and count in like that. Oh, look, halfway between 0 and -1 is -1/2. Or if you want to do the midpoint thing, you could say, look, AC, -3 and 2. You can always add them up and divide by 2, right? Either way, you're going to get -1/2. Now from BD, there's another way to do it too. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of 4 is 2. 1, 2. You arrive at 1. There's a lot of ways you can find a midpoint. Okay. Either way. Okay. Find the distance between each pair of points. Now, let's see. Some of the problems that you're going to get on this will be like looking like a graph. Let's see. If I've got this, what I can do is I can complete my right triangle. Now, it doesn't matter if I go this way or this way. It's going to pop down here this way, get down even with it, pop over here like that. Right triangle. And I can say from A coming over, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. Then going up, you can see it's 1, 2, 3. Do this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going up. Did I count it right on the way over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, pair of 5s. So how do we do that? That's just like a squared plus b squared equals c squared all over again, isn't it? So you have 5 squared plus 5 squared equals, well, let's call it d squared for the distance. D is the distance. 25 and 25 makes 50. D squared. I don't have a lot of room here, but since I'll continue it over here. D is equal to the square root of 50, which is 25 times 2. So D is equal to 5 radical 2. Final answer. Now, I want you to know that if you like doing it with a graph, you could graph those and do the same thing. And if you like doing what I'm about to do, you could have always just written down the coordinates and done what I'm about to do here. Okay. So this is a thing where you're going to find the differences, right? So if I look at this distance here between 5 and 1, there's a gap of 4 because 5 minus 1 is 4. And you know, if you subtracted 2 minus 3, you get -1, but you're about to square that anyway. So just do the bigger one minus the smaller one. 4 and 1, you got 1 squared plus 4 squared equals d squared on this one. And that's 1 plus 16, which is 17. So d is equal to the square root of 17, which does not simplify. And over here, Let's see, this one has a gap of 7, doesn't it? -4 all the way up to 3. 2 up to -1 or down to -1 is a distance of 3. So 7 squared plus 3 squared equals d squared. Oh, shoot. And that's 49 and 9, which is 58. And so d is equal to the square root of 58. And since 58 is nothing more than 29 times 2, I guess we can't really break that one down now, can we? Okay. Now we're going to find, over here, these two problems. We're going to find the midpoint. Whoops. Can't see that now, can ya? No. We're going to find the midpoint of AB. Find the midpoint between 9, 1 and 5, 3. And all you have to do that, I'm going to go ahead and stick M here. There's room for my midpoint right in the middle. Look at the 9 and the 5 and go back to this like this original problem. Imagine 9 and 5. How many spaces would that be? 9 minus 5 is 4, right? That's 4 spaces. 4 spaces, but it's the midpoint, so we're only going to go halfway down. Halfway down, so 7, right? Because 7 is the midpoint between the 9 and the 5. Imagine if you had a 9 and a 5 on this one, the 7 would be the midpoint. Midpoint between 1 and 3, what does that look like? 2? Okay, so there's your answer. But if you wanted to do it the other way, you could just say 9 plus 5 over 2. All right, that's the midpoint. Midpoint equals, right? 1 plus 3 over 2. That's the long way. It's not that long, but it's longer. All right, I hope I'm writing big enough that you can see that. I feel like I need a little boost. Hang on now. Let's see. Is that a little better? Can you see that better? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now this one, same thing. Halfway between. So the midpoint, 6 minus 1 over 2. So that's 5 over 2. That's 2.5, right? So 2.5 is my midpoint x coordinate. And over here I've got -2 minus 4. We're just adding those things together. They make -6 divided by 2 is -3. And as you could see, the number halfway between -2 and -4 is -3, obviously. Now, last category. This time, you're given that M is the midpoint of PQ. So, this time you can use this formula, and I'll show you how to do that, but I think that's by far not the easiest way to do it. Look, in order to get from 4 down to 2, didn't I have to decrease by 2? Well, decrease by 2 again. See, 2 is halfway between 4 and 0. This one I had to increase by 2. Well, by golly, increase by 2 again. Okay, so, and you can kind of check your work. Yeah, sure, 5 plus 1 divided by 2. 4 plus 0 divided by 2 is 2. All right? If I was going to use the formula, it's not as easy as all that. You've got 2, 3 equals, this is unknown, right? So this is like 4 plus x over 2, comma 1 plus y over 2. I mean, I don't know. It's not impossible, but I think it's easier to do what I'm showing you here. To go from -3 to 7, you have to increase by 10. So increase by 10 again, 17. In order to go from 6 down to 1, you got to decrease by 5 or subtract 5. I'm going to subtract 5 again. And I'm going to get -4, and there's my midpoint. My other endpoint. And sure enough, 17 minus 3 is 14. Half of 14 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. Half of that is 1. Yeah, we could check our answer, and it works. Okay, boys and girls, well, you have a lovely rest of your day, and you knock out this homework, and we will see you on Monday.